Tonight, a Nolan Wells phone evidence torpedo.
Had multiple witnesses reach out to us, two confirmed witnesses that saw Nolan Wells on the island around 6 p.m. on July 4th. Well after the Triton, as you said, left around 4:30. And so those witnesses have went to investigators, they've talked to the police, and they've done what they're supposed to do. These witnesses know Nolan. They've known him for a long time. They were able to make a positive ID. And they told that to investigators. They told them that from the very start.
What witnesses? Where? Who, what, where, why, and when? That is a renowned trial lawyer named Tyler Cox, and he is representing the acquaintances of Nolan's that took him to Horn Island on their boat, the Triton. Curious, we've seen, hey, let's pull up that video, control room, of everyone getting on the boat before they went to Horn Island. It's very interesting, evidentiarily.
Everything just changed in the Nolan Wells case. Tonight, we're breaking down the phone evidence torpedo that has the internet buzzing, and why Nancy Grace says this could be the turning point in the search for the truth. If you're standing with Nolan Wells and his family, prove it right now. Like this video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we're committed to bringing you every up-to-date development in this case until his family finally gets the justice and answers they deserve.
Okay, here we go. This was from the Officer Tatum show, and you're about to see people, there they are down at the right, and there's actual video of people see the boat at about 1 o'clock. Oh, there we go. Excellent shot, guys. People getting on, people getting off, and it keeps going to where you see everybody that got on the boat. But here's my big question tonight, before I can even get to the alleged witnesses that Tyler Cox is telling us about. Dave Mack, joining me, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Can I see the video again, please? Dave Mack, I'm seeing everybody preparing the Triton to go out, preparing to go out. In this shot, they're down at about 3 o'clock. Okay, keep looking. 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then suddenly you switch to a different camera. There you go. That's the boat. So Dave Mack, where is the evidence? Where is the video of the boat? Is that Nolan right there? Walking along the light blue shorts, and he at that time had on a white shirt. I think that's Nolan right there. Dave Mack, where is the evidence, the video evidence of them coming back?
Nancy, we have not seen evidence of them coming back. Remember, 3 boats caravanned out to the island, and then we have different stories about when they arrived back on the mainland. But we don't have video of any of them showing back up. So we don't have that
video.
Correct.
Okay, let's circle back to the alleged witnesses that... He's a great trial lawyer, by the way. Wins a lot of cases. Is Tyler Cox. He's representing the acquaintances that went to Horn Island with Nolan. I've got to get to the phone torpedo, but he's not the only one that says they have witnesses. Listen.
These 2 witnesses, 2 very reliable, very credible, and very upstanding members of the community, they saw Nolan, and they've known Nolan for years. There's no chance that they made a mistake. And by the way, this can be corroborated through other evidence, other eyewitness accounts. And that's the end of it right there.
That's from the Officer Tatum show. Susan Hendricks joining me, veteran, investigative journalist, author of Down the Hill, My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi. What witnesses? I understand that there's video and witnesses. One places him there at 5, one places him there at 6. Significance, the Triton, and we can show this by GPS. They are right about this, left Horn Island around 4:30. So if he is spotted, and you can confirm to me that he is spotted there at 5 or 6, if that video has a timestamp on it, and I can corroborate that, or I can corroborate the witnesses weren't drunk. Hey, let's see that video, control room again, of Nolan bent over, and all you can see is his blue trunk right there. Now, that's not a very good eyewitness right there, okay? Do I think that's him? Yeah, I do. I do think that's Nolan. But I would tear that up in court. Tear it to shreds.
By now, most of you already know how this story began. On the 4th of July, 18-year-old Nolan Wells traveled by boat with friends to Horn Island, a remote strip of sand off the Mississippi Gulf Coast that's only reachable by water. His friends say he chose to stay behind to talk with a young woman, telling them he'd make his own way back to the mainland later that day. He never did. 2 days later, on July 6th, a park ranger found his body in the water near the island's northwestern tip. Dental records confirmed what everyone feared. The wide receiver, the son, the friend was gone. Since then, this case has refused to sit still, and the last few weeks have brought a wave of new developments that are reshaping everything we thought we knew. Let's start with what triggered tonight's firestorm: Nolan's cell phone. For weeks, that device sat at the center of a standoff between the family and investigators. The Wells family, through their attorneys, has said all along they were ready to hand the phone over, but only for a joint examination, with independent experts standing alongside law enforcement. Then, according to the family's legal team, the district attorney's office sent a letter demanding the phone be turned over within roughly 48 hours, while Nolan's parents were out of town. The family says that timing made compliance nearly impossible, and that narrative that they were somehow uncooperative is something their attorneys are now pushing back on hard. As of this week, the family maintains the phone remains available and ready for that joint forensic download whenever a time and place is set. Now here's why that phone matters so much. Digital forensics experts explain that a proper extraction can reveal deleted texts, timestamps, location data, and a complete picture of someone's final hours. Information that could either support or contradict the story investigators have pieced together so far. And that's exactly why both sides are fighting so intensely over who gets to be in the room when it happens. Before we go deeper, if you're just finding this channel, hit that subscribe button right now and tap the like on this video. We are staying on the Nolan Wells case every single step of the way, and you do not want to miss what comes next. Subscribing means you'll be the first to know when the next update drops, so make sure that notification bell is on too. Now let's talk about the timeline itself, because that's where things get even murkier. An independent review commissioned by the family, examining photographs, videos, GPS data, and witness statements, concluded there is what investigators are calling a material gap, a missing stretch of time between the last confirmed sighting of Nolan and when his friend's boat actually left the island. That gap is now one of the central mysteries the case hinges on. Investigators have publicly asked anyone with original unedited photos or video from that day to come forward, particularly anything showing Nolan or any kind of altercation. Meanwhile, the official state autopsy has been completed, but unlike the independent one commissioned by the family, which was announced publicly in July and ruled the cause and manner of death undetermined pending further investigation, the state's findings have not been released to the public. Instead, they're being held for presentation directly to a grand jury. According to the family's attorneys, that grand jury referral could come within the next several weeks, and the pressure on this case just grew even bigger. This past week, members of the Congressional Black Caucus held a press conference alongside civil rights attorney Ben Crump and Reverend Al Sharpton, calling for federal oversight of the investigation. The family's legal team says a forensic pathologist involved in the independent autopsy still hasn't had the chance to review additional materials from the state's side, another sign that this case is far from finished. All of this is unfolding right as an emotional milestone approaches. Nolan Wells would have turned 19 years old this week. His mother, Christine Wells Wansley, has spoken about how the reality of his absence keeps sinking in deeper with each passing day. A vigil is being planned in Biloxi to mark his birthday, a moment that will undoubtedly bring the community's grief and its demand for answers right back into the spotlight. So where does that leave us tonight? The phone standoff appears to be inching toward resolution. The timeline gap remains unexplained. The state autopsy is sealed until it reaches a grand jury. And now, federal lawmakers are watching closely. Nothing here is settled. Nothing here is simple. And every new piece of evidence seems to raise as many questions as it answers. We are not going anywhere until the Wells family gets the answers they deserve. If this update mattered to you, if you want to be here when the next piece of this puzzle comes out, subscribe to this channel right now and like this video before you go. Your support is what keeps this story alive and keeps the pressure on for the truth to come out.